My blood pressure is 123 over 81. It's a little gizmo called Wrist Tech, and yeah, I bought it from CVS or Rite Aid, one of those two. And I know what you're thinking. Those things aren't accurate. Well, maybe, maybe not. I don't know for sure. But because of that, I went ahead and bought a second one. Different brand, different make. So that way I can average the two and get, what I consider an accurate blood pressure. So this one is, let's see, what is that? 126.78. See there? And this one's 123 over 81. So I just averaged the two. So, that's what I believe to be accurate. So 123, between 123 and 126 over 80, roughly. So that's pretty darn accurate if you ask me. And it's consistent. Usually I go high 130 and down to 123 or 118, something like that sometimes. Now, this wasn't always the case. My blood pressure used to be through the roof. And when I mean through the roof, I mean off the scale. We had like one of those chairs with a blood pressure monitor, and it had the scale on it. And I think the highest number was like 244, means you had extremely high blood pressure. Your danger zone. And that's high as it went. But beyond, it says 244 but beyond, which is the highest. And I went to one time 278. I kid you not, 278 over 80 or 90, whatever it was. So my blood pressure has not always been, and this is considered normal now. It's not always been normal. So now it is. And I know what you're thinking. What kind of drugs is he taking to get his blood pressure down from, mid 200s to down to 126? The answer is no drugs. I went into my doctor's office for a physical one day, and very nice doctor. And until this one day where she did my blood pressure, and or her assistant. Anyways, they said that I think at the time it was like 180 maybe or something like that, 160 to 180. And my doctor was telling me, you need to be on high blood pressure medicine. And I was like, huh? I said, high blood pressure? I don't need any medication. I feel fine. I feel great, matter of fact. So the doctor was telling me, no, you need this blood pressure medicine today or else. I said, or else what? She said, or else you're going to die. I was like, you know what? I was feeling so good that day. I was like, you know what? I don't see that happening unless I get hit by a bus. And the doctor was like trying to convince me and arguing and trying to get me to take this medication, trying to prescribe the medication, forcing it down my throat, literally. And I told the doctor, I said, hey, no offense, but I'm not taking this medication. I'm not filling this prescription that you're writing right now, so you're wasting my time and you're wasting your time. And the doctor just got irate, man. I mean, she turned from Miss Goody Two Shoe to, a whole other woman that I couldn't even explain. And anyways, so after arguing for a bit in front of her assistant and everything, and I refusing to take the drugs, I told her I'll be back in 30 days for an update. What I'm going to do is, instead of taking your drug medicine, which I found out later through WebMD, that once you're on those high blood pressure medicines, you're usually on there for life. And people take advantage of those medicines, and then they start not exercising and dieting the way they should, because the medication is superficially lowering down their blood pressure. So, at the time I told the doctor that before I left her office, I said, I'm going to go and fix this, try to fix this by the good old adage, diet and exercise, right? Because, if I did have high blood pressure, I want to take care of it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not convinced that drugs is the only answer. I'm convinced that drugs is the last resort. That's my philosophy. Anyways, so, plus I was feeling great, you know what I'm saying? So if I was feeling bad at the time, maybe I would have took her up on her offer, but I was like, nope, not going to do it until after 30 days. And I'm going to, do diet and exercise. And she goes, basically she tried to convince me I was going to die that day and I wouldn't make it back in 30 days. I fooled her because I'm back. Anyways, so I started doing exercise like I thought I was going to do. Got unmotivated somewhere along the way after a few days and stopped working out like I planned to. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just cut down on my salt intake because I was eating everything with salt. Preservative foods full of salt. I was adding salt on top of those foods. And, I was adding salt all the time. I found out, through my own habits. Anyways, so I figured, let me just cut out salt. I could do that. So I cut out salt almost entirely out of my diet. Wasn't that hard to do either. So then I started buying food with low sodium or no sodium. And then I started, eating foods same way, no sodium or low sodium. And didn't add salt onto anything. You know what I'm saying? So I lived for 30 days like that, basically. So then I also bought one of these portable blood pressure detectors or whatever you call them, analyzers. Anyways, so and those things came down to normal. I was like, what? I got my blood pressure down to normal without exercise, just cutting out salt. I kid you not, people. Anyways, so once I knew it was pretty low with these guys, I really didn't trust them. And then I went back to the doctor's office within 30 days, like I said. And then she got me back on her chair and asked me and did blood pressure and said, how in the hell did you get your blood pressure down to normal without taking drugs? I said, diet and exercise. Well, mainly just diet because I didn't really do all the exercise that I promised I would do. Anyways, so she was shocked, dumbfounded, couldn't believe that I came up with a magic bullet to lower my blood pressure down. And she's a doctor, PhD and everything. I don't know. And she was shocked. And I was like, you know what? Those fancy drugs that you want me to push. Also, I did some research, a documentary research on, not necessarily high blood pressure medicine, but just medicine in general. The pharmaceutical companies, they're making mass profits off that stuff. And then they love when you take a drug that requires you to take it for life. They love those kind of drugs because then they got a customer for life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not interested in doing that. I mean, I'd rather look for an herbal remedy or something before I go to a traditional medicine for life. You know what I'm saying? Or, eat foods that's going to help you counteract whatever issues you got going on there. I believe, that can help too. So there's a lot of alternatives you can do before resorting to drugs for life. And during my research, I found out a lot of people my age and even family members were all on high blood pressure medicine. I was like, why are you guys on high blood pressure medicine? Oh, the doctor told me I had high blood pressure, so I've been taking this medicine and now it's gone down to normal. But they're still eating and still not working out like they're supposed to. So it's superficially lowering their blood pressure down, but their body is not really healthier. You know what I'm saying? And also, there's another side effect from taking drugs continuously, especially with the I know for the heart, the high blood pressure medicine is that when you go into surgery for other things, that medication can affect the outcome of your surgery. You know what I'm saying? The anesthesia, the outcome of the surgery, the stress on your body. So you got to be careful when you commit to taking a lifelong drug like that. You know what I'm saying? Do your research. Double check your doctor because they may know that, because doctors can only do two things. First of all, they can prescribe drugs or they can do surgery. And if it's outside that realm, they can't do anything for you because that's all the expertise they have is prescribe drugs and do surgery. So they can cut you open, fix things inside you, but they can prescribe drugs. But that's it. That's the limit of their abilities. So knowing that, I had to take some responsibility on myself and say, let me see what I can do to fix this. So that was my mentality. First try, do what I can do before I go down that route of, full-time, lifetime drug supply. You know what I'm saying? So just letting you guys know, get one of these guys. If you don't trust your doctor's advice, I mean, I did not trust the doctor's advice, but except for the fact she told me I was going to die that day, I didn't believe that at all for a minute. I was looking for lightning in the sky though. You know what I'm saying? Because anything can happen. But and that's why they call it the silent killer, because you don't feel like nothing's wrong with you with high blood pressure. And I'm glad they did check it and bring it to my attention, because otherwise I wouldn't have known that I had a high blood pressure, because I was going through life happy-go-lucky, not realizing that I had extremely high blood pressure. So don't always take the advice of your doctor. Sometimes you want to get a second opinion, a third opinion sometimes. Do your own research. Go online. Ask people, ask family members, ask friends. Watch documentaries like I did. And you'll find it's a whole industry out there catering towards the pharmaceutical companies because they're multi-billion dollar profit companies. And those doctors, believe it or not, they get kickbacks for pushing certain drugs. And the kickbacks aren't always in cash, people. So sometimes the kickbacks are in lavish vacations, aka seminars, you know what I'm saying? Vegas or wherever, some kind of fancy resort, golfing. That's still money. It adds up. The doctors push drugs because they get kickbacks, they get bonuses, they get, whatever the perks they get, fringe benefits, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff boils down to dollars and cents. So don't think the doctor is pushing certain drugs heavily and hard, you know what I'm saying? Just because of your health. They also, it's a multi-motivational thing, I think. They want to help you, but then they also want to get paid. Who doesn't want to get paid, you know what I'm saying? So, but bottom line, never been on high blood pressure medicine. Blood pressure is totally normal. I eat the same basic foods. I just shop a little smart at the store, looking for low sodium or no sodium. Some foods that have no sodium are pretty nasty sometimes. So, but the ones that have very low sodium, and I also went to frozen vegetables too, because anything in a can is gonna have salt in it, guaranteed. So I got straight away from cans. Now I'm coming back to cans because now I learned how to not use salt. I don't miss salt. Even though I have salt in my cupboard for guests, you know what I'm saying, if they want salt on their food and stuff, that's fine. I have salt substitutes, so it's like 0 sodium. So, I'm trying to keep you guys healthy.